Here's a question I get asked almost every week. I don't have any real work experience. Is a top business master's program even realistic for me? The answer to that question depends entirely on which program you are targeting. And getting that wrong can be very expensive in terms of time, energy, and finances invested. So today, I want to give you a quick breakdown of all the most popular business master's programs so you can see whether it might be a right fit for you. Let's dive in. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm Caitlin, an Oxford MBA and admissions consultant. I've helped hundreds of students win interviews and offers to all of the top business schools in the world. If you have little to no full-time work experience, the Master in Management is almost certainly your strongest option. These programs are designed specifically for early career candidates. Master in Management programs at schools such as London Business School, LSE, INSEAD, Duke, Cornell, and Chicago Booth actively recruit college seniors and recent graduates. 0 to 2 years of work experience is the norm, not the exception. What committees evaluate instead of working experience is your GPA and academic trajectory, your test scores, your leadership outside of the classroom, the quality of your internships, and above all, how coherent and compelling your narrative or personal brand is. So committees are going to ask you questions like, why this degree, why our school? And so you have to have built a very clear personal brand and have a strong, logical plan that you can show them in your application through your essays and your interviews. And that is what is going to sell admissions committees for Master in Management programs. Bottom line is no full-time work experience is expected for the Master in Management. You are competing on the quality of your personal brand and how you think. The MSBA, or Master of Science in Business Analytics, sits in interesting territory because there are some MSBA programs, full-time usually, that are targeting college seniors and recent graduates. However, there are some MSBA programs that are part-time or online, and they are actually targeting working professionals and looking for people with work experience. So in general, you can assume that a full-time MSBA program is probably open to college seniors and recent graduates. And in general, you can assume the MSBA programs that are online or part-time have been designed for people who have full-time jobs. So they expect people to have a certain number of years of working experience. Now, just to throw another wrench in this, you'll notice that there are some schools that have MSBA programs offered in all 3 of these different formats. So be very careful when you're looking up MSBA programs to understand, is this one full-time? Is it only online? Is it part-time? Do they offer it all ways? And which way is right for me and my career phase? The MSBA is an applied degree. It's built around solving real business problems with data. Admissions committees expect some exposure to that. So if you don't have any, then you can compensate with technical depth. For example, strong quantitative coursework, a GitHub portfolio, research experience, and data-focused internships. You can get into a full-time MSBA program that is designed for people without working experience straight out of undergrad. Of course, the more competitive schools are harder to get into, but that's why you be strategic with your school list. The Master of Finance is a slightly different story than the MSBA. You have programs that are designed for people specifically without working experience, but that maybe have some finance internships. You also have Master of Finance programs that will not take people that don't have a minimum of 4+ years of work experience. So those are very different types of programs. You got to be careful when you're looking at Master of Finance options. Now, schools that offer that early career Master of Finance program like MIT Sloan or London Business School, those are going to really evaluate you on your quantitative preparation. To be a good fit for those kinds of programs, you need to have completed very strong quantitative courses in your undergraduate degree, such as mathematics, statistics, and finance. That's why for these more technical financial degrees, admissions committees really like to see people who are majoring in mathematics, statistics, and engineering. Additionally, they're going to look and see if you've already completed some internships in the financial field. So they want to know that on some level you understand finance. The MBA is where I need to be direct with you. Traditional full-time MBA programs at business schools such as Wharton, Kellogg, Columbia Business School, INSEAD, and London Business School are averaging 5 to 6 years of full-time work experience at matriculation, meaning at the start of the program. That is not an accident. The entire MBA model, case method, peer learning, career pivot infrastructure is built around professionals who have already been in the field. Because of this, most of these top MBA programs are looking for people who've had several years of work experience. Now, they won't say it oftentimes, a minimum that they're looking for, but I can tell you for top schools, you're probably not going to be competitive until you have at least 4, 5, I would say 6, 7 years of full-time work experience. Now, having said all this, if you are a college senior and you're really set on the MBA as a program, then there are ways you can start to interact with these business schools and potentially secure a place while you're a senior in college. It's called the Deferred Entry Pathways, and most top business schools around the world have these. The way it works is you apply to an MBA program through the deferred pathway as a college senior. If you get accepted, then you will go to work for several years and then start the MBA program. This pathway is generally for high-achieving undergraduates who want to secure a spot in an MBA program before entering the workforce. Now, the deferred MBA pathway is not the most common way for people to get into top MBA programs. Why? Because the majority of the class seats for the MBA program is going to be reserved for people who are direct entry, people who already have the work experience. So it can be harder to make that case that you are a very high achieving deferred applicant. So for my college seniors who are interested in getting a general business master's degree, I will normally not recommend the deferred MBA pathway unless they're really set on it. Then maybe we go forward. But the Master in Management was designed specifically for people in their career phase. So I always tell applicants, don't rush to get the MBA. The work experience that you build before you apply is extremely important to your application. Here's the thing that most applicants will miss. As soon as you are in the right range for a program, meaning, for example, if a program says you cannot have more than 2 years of full-time work experience and you have 2 or less, then you're in the right range. As soon as you're in that right range, now it's not about having more just for the sake of it. Now they're gonna look very specifically at the quality of the experience that you have. So if you only have internships, but you did an excellent job in those internships and you made a real impact on the companies that you were working with, versus somebody who maybe had 1.5 years of work experience, but it wasn't really that dynamic or impactful, you will stand out above that person, even though you have fewer years of work experience. I have seen candidates with fewer internships and fewer years of work experience outcompete others who had more simply because they made a greater impact on the companies they worked for. And they told a more coherent and compelling story. So as you are looking at internships, projects, and jobs and trying to decide which ones to pursue, you need to get clear on what your narrative actually is. Now, I'm going to direct you to my free narrative video that you can watch to understand how to start building it. Because when you get your narrative clear and you set it, then all of these decisions are going to be a lot easier to make. So I'm going to link to that here. Go check that out. I also have a way to support you through the narrative kit. Now, this is something I've designed to help you figure out how to set that narrative. So if you watch that video and you want more support with it, that would be a great place to go. If you found this video helpful, then consider subscribing. I post weekly on graduate business school admissions topics. Thanks so much for spending time with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.